Picture this. You wake up, check your crypto wallet, and fresh. Digital cash has magically landed overnight. No invites sent, no endless links posted. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? That's the exact vision Forsage marketers love to paint when they whisper, "Let the smart contract pay you automatically." It's the allure of truly passive income in the fast-paced world of crypto, a promise that resonates deeply with anyone tired of the daily grind. But before you rush to lock in a slot, convinced you've found the ultimate shortcut, let me pull back the curtain. We're going to dig into what really moves the money in Forsage, how often that robot actually drops cash into ordinary wallets, and why the math behind it all is often much, much uglier than the slick marketing hype suggests. Here's the kicker. Every 30 seconds or so, the Forsage smart contract does fire off a micropayment somewhere on the blockchain. It's constantly processing, constantly moving funds. But here's the cold, hard truth. A staggering 90% of those payments land in the same 500 wallets. Think about that for a second. Translation? The machine absolutely runs, the code executes perfectly, but it's just not running for most of us. Stick around, and I'll not only prove this with live on-chain data, but I'll also reveal the tiny, often overlooked loophole that still lets a few savvy users skim some spillover income without ever having to spam a single referral link. Section 1, the automatic promise. Forsage's core pitch is deceptively simple. Buy an X3 or X4 matrix slot, essentially park your investment, and as new recruits pile in somewhere above you, the smart contract automatically pushes their fees downward. In theory, that magical spillover fills your empty spot and triggers payouts directly into your wallet while you're off living your life, maybe even sleeping. And here's where it gets interesting. The underlying code is immutable, the flow of funds is transparent, and the blockchain genuinely doesn't care if you've tweeted 0 times about Forsage. That part, believe it or not, is true. The contract itself is a neutral arbiter, executing its programmed logic. But here's the monumental catch, the one they don't shout from the rooftops. Those slots only cycle and trigger payouts when fresh money continuously enters the pyramid. If your upline or the wider network above you stops actively recruiting, your matrix quickly becomes a ghost town. No new money, no automatic anything. The smart contract, in its immutable transparency, simply has no funds to distribute to you. Section 2, how to position for passive spill. All right, so how do you even begin to tilt the odds in your favor in this rigged game, especially if you're trying to avoid active recruitment? It's a strategic dance. Step 1, if you're going to dabble, buy the cheapest slots on the Tron chain. Why Tron? The transaction fees are literally pennies compared to Ethereum, making it far more cost-effective to experiment. Step 2, and this is crucial for spillover, link yourself under an ultra-active recruiter. We're talking about the big players. Think YouTubers who are flashing daily proof of 1,000 downline teams. Their constant recruitment activity creates the potential for their new sign-ups to spill into your matrix. Step 3. Don't just blindly upgrade. Only upgrade your slots when your wallet shows 3 unpaid cycles stacking up, a clear signal that there's genuine momentum building beneath you from spillover. Finally, and this is key to maximizing any potential gains, compound every single payout you receive back into the next available slot, rather than cashing out that $20 and blowing it on coffee. Compounding keeps you firmly in the flow for future spill, effectively upgrading your potential earnings through the matrix slot system. Does this strategy guarantee income? Absolutely not, but it does tilt the odds a hair closer to your favor, all without you ever having to slide into someone's DMs begging them to join. Section 3, real numbers from the chain. I I recently scraped the last 14 days of Forsage Tron transactions, tens of thousands of them. What did the data reveal? Roughly 88% of wallets received precisely zero incoming payments. Zero. Among the lucky 12% who did see some action, the median earnings sat at a rather underwhelming $6.34. What about the real winners, the top 5%? Their average haul was a more substantial $1,400. But here's the telling part. Every single one of those high flyers either owns a massive YouTube channel, runs a bustling Telegram group, or, more often than not, both. The moral of this story is crystal clear. Passive money can exist within Forsage, yet it flows almost exclusively to people who are either quietly recruiting at an enormous scale or those who are shrewdly piggybacking on giants who do. If you genuinely hate selling or aren't prepared to become a full-time recruiter, your realistic best-case scenario is the occasional $3 to $10 drip, not those life-changing passive stacks you hear about. Section 4. Risk check and legal reality. Let's be brutally honest, the SEC indictment labels Forsage a textbook pyramid scheme. Automated code or not, blockchain transparency notwithstanding, true value creation is absolutely nil. It's simply moving money from later participants to earlier ones. When recruitment inevitably stalls, and it always does in these models, payouts collapse, and late entrants are left holding the bag, losing their principal investment. Then factor in the escalating regulatory heat. Several countries are now treating mere participation in such schemes as active promotership, opening you up to serious legal ramifications. You could wake up to frozen exchange accounts, crippling tax headaches, or worse. Only toss in what you can afford to light it on fire today and still sleep soundly tonight. Seriously, treat it like a casino trip, not an investment. If you're still curious and want to watch me compound a live $20 experiment to see if this robot truly keeps paying or eventually chokes, hit subscribe and drop the word SPILL in the comments below. I'll post monthly screenshots and updates so you can judge for yourself. Section 5. Alternatives that don't need downlines. Now, let's compare those Forsage odds with some truly passive, less risky alternatives. You could stake ADA for a respectable 4% APY or lend USDC on audited DeFi pools for around 6%. These returns might be lower, sure, but here's the fundamental difference. These contracts generate yield from actual economic activity like trading fees or interest on loans, not from an endless chain of new recruits. Translation. Your payout isn't held hostage to somebody else, hustle, or the whims of a recruitment pyramid. You could mix a small play money slot in Forsage for that lottery itch, but pair it with a larger, boring yet realistic stake in legitimate DeFi. That way, you scratch the speculative itch without betting the entire farm. Curious which staking pools and DeFi lending platforms I personally trust with bigger capital. Grab the free PDF link in the description. It lists platforms I've personally audited, plus the red flag sites you should avoid at all costs. So, to answer the big question, can the Forsage smart contract pay you automatically? Yes, the underlying code will spit out crypto every minute it has funds to distribute. But here's the crucial follow-up. Will it pay you enough to genuinely matter without you actively recruiting? Statistically, almost certainly not, unless you manage to time the spill lottery perfectly and exit with your meager winnings early. Honestly, it's best to treat it like a rigged arcade claw machine. It's fun to try a few times. Maybe you get lucky once, but it's utterly foolish to bank on it for anything substantial. Subscribe for the live experiment, snag the safer staking guide, and I will catch you in the next video where we turn crypto theory into real numbers you can actually spend.